So I'm going to talk to you today about Facebook timeline updates. You look like a room full of early adopters, so I imagine all of you guys have gone over to the new Facebook timeline look for your own personal Facebook pages. But one of the great and interesting things about this new update to Facebook is that for those of us who work with clients and companies who want to deepen their brand presence on Facebook, there are now a lot more tools that you can use just in the Facebook timeline to do that. So this is going to be a very fast presentation. I'm going to go through a couple cases of people who do really great jobs with it. The key thing to understand about the Facebook timeline is that it is really an amazing tool. It seems almost, compared to Tumblr and contextually, this is almost old media in some ways, right? Because as Facebook's been around forever, companies, even the ones that don't have a big social media bandwidth, are all on Facebook, and their customers are on Facebook. So a lot of this will feel very familiar, but the timeline gives us new tools for deepening that relationship. The question that you have to think about when you're doing any sort of client action is, what is our goal? Like, what is our objective? Is our objective to change the perception of a brand? Is our goal to deepen the relationship with customers and show a more maybe human side of a company that maybe needs to be to look and feel more human? Is our goal to show like the new ways of using a familiar old product? Like, there's a lot of different tools that you can use, a lot of different objectives that you can have just in general with the company, and now with the timeline, especially the cover photo and the historic timeline, ways of really doing that. I'm going to take you through a couple quick examples. One thing that's interesting is that when I first did this presentation, a lot of these examples that I brought up, the companies have actually, a lot of them have changed their cover photos and their timelines because you can tell that they're experimenting with it. But we're going to go through just a couple examples. So Windows has gone through a number of interesting sort of transitions over the last couple of years. I think a lot of people remember their issues with Vista and the launch of that product. I think they were also probably very much wounded by the I'm a Mac and I'm a PC campaign from Apple, which really kind of like lowered like the sexiness of Windows. And as a PC user, I take very strong offense to that. Although I'm a big John Hodgman fan. I don't know if you guys yeah, so I respected that. But Windows, especially with the Windows 7 campaign and the upcoming Windows 8 campaign, I think is really trying to reclaim some of that and the customization aspects that really is inherent in PC use. So you can, if you look at the cover photo, they obviously have these nice smiling children, but you can look back and see some of the previous examples of what they've done. This is the one that was up originally. Obviously what we have here, this was the cover photo from when I opened it just the other day even. Like, this is a creative professional, right? This is somebody who a lot of us would expect today would be a Mac user, right? This is somebody who uses their computer, to do creative things. This is like Mac's, like, this is Apple's like target, in the enterprise space. However, she's obviously using this new innovative Windows touchscreen device, something that Apple doesn't currently offer. So what Windows is doing here, what Microsoft is doing, is that they are using a target demographic. They're trying to change the perception for people who visit this site, saying, "Oh, this is something that creative professionals also use." They're not ceding that ground to Apple. You also have, these massive corporations that many of us have these, fairly anonymous relationships with. We all have a data plan. Verizon, one thing that they have done that I think is really kind of a really, really lightweight and easy and free thing that any company can do is that they allow anybody who could take a photo with their, Verizon wireless plan enabled phone, take a photo on their phone, upload it to their Verizon's timeline, and you can get selected and have your photo put up as a cover photo. And they change this, I think, every day. And they even tag who it is that's done, that the photo's from. It's just a really great way of kind of constantly refreshing, constantly updating in a totally free way that creates a delightful experience for that one individual customer. Now, there are probably hundreds of people who submitted photos. Each of those is just a nice, deeper, freeing way of engaging with those people. totally casually on Facebook. It allows Verizon to have a little bit more of a human interaction with their clients. The 2008 Obama campaign and going now into the 2012 campaign has always proven to be very web savvy. They do have a Tumblr, they have all these other things, but Facebook, one of the ways that they use the cover photo, I'm going to go back to a couple ones. So you see, look, Obama, Clooney, and you. It'd be great if my picture was up there with them, 3 cool dudes. They change this all the time, obviously, but this. So this was a cover photo for a long time. So what they used is that you have the profile photo, which was Obama's face, very recognizable global icon, right? But the cover photo was this very clear data narrative about job creation. So it's a political statement in the form of data that they were able to use as their cover photo. Every time the cover photos change, if you're a subscriber to that page, you will see that change being made. So this is something that they're able to even push out among their following on Facebook just by sharing this as their cover photo. Anybody who went, they would see this as the cover photo, and then Barack Obama's smiley face right there. Starbucks has been an innovative user of this for a long time, an innovative user of Facebook for a long time. Since Howard Schultz returned to the company, a big emphasis has been made on the people of Starbucks. So a lot of their cover photos that they've done in the past have shown the people who work there. New York Times did something very similar on their page. I think as a way of showing that for New York Times especially, this is a company that has been that has seen its resources really contracted over the last couple of years, but reminding people that there are real people behind this media institution, and these are the real people who are delivering the news, which may be more worthy of your time and investment. As a last example, and we'll just sum it up after this, is Spotify. Spotify has done something really unique, one that has really kind of captured my attention, which is beyond just the cover photo, which they changed with kind of their own funny branded animation. There's also the historic timeline. When Timeline was first released, Facebook allowed you to go back, I believe, to the year 1900. So you were able to talk about the history of your company all the way back to the year 1900. Spotify responded to Facebook and said, what if you're dealing with something that goes back before 1900? Facebook changed the rules, and now you're able to go back to the year 1000 AD on your Facebook timeline. So if you scroll down, you can see here on the right dates. You can see Spotify obviously has not been around since 1990s. It wasn't around in 1910s. Definitely wasn't around in 1567. But what they are doing is they are using Spotify. They're putting Spotify in the narrative of the entire history of music. So you go back to the very beginning. Organus experiments. So music theorists in the Christian church began experimenting with 2 melodic lines sung in parallel to each other. What we see is that Spotify has taken music and put itself in the historic context of the progress of music. That to me is a really beautiful and powerful way of using the timeline. In addition, there's also a really smart tactical thing you can do. If you go a little bit later on, if you go into the 90s, 1999, we all remember No Scrubs by TLC, right? They tagged TLC in that timeline. For you and your clients, if you are talking about a company that has a historic prestige or a heritage, any previous conference that they put on or large event that they did or great brand endorsement they had from some celebrity, all of those are an opportunity to go back into your history and tag that with those people you're involved with. It's a way of going back, revisiting your heritage, and deepening those relationships. It's Facebook, you've been able to do that forever on Facebook in your profile. You've been able to go and tag people you have relationships with, but this is a much more focused way of doing that. Facebook welcomes it. We're looking at a couple of our clients that we're working with right now, finding ways that we can kind of really build up the heritage of these organizations and show how deep their relationship goes with their city and with their neighbors. All of that is a great opportunity to deepen a relationship.